And there we go. We are live. We have voice, I have art, I have my camera, and I have you. Good morning, everybody, on this Workhorse Thursday. This is Vectors and Pixels, can't speak, and I'm Jeff Perryman. Why Workhorse Thursdays? Well, I do 2 streams every week. Tuesdays is What the Art? And that is where I get to do whatever the heck I want. Just whatever I feel like, and I just do art. But Thursdays are dedicated to me working on a very specific project. Now, current project is ABCs of Adventure. And we're working on letter I still because I can't get off my lazy tuchus to work on the stuff during the week. I'm working on that part, slowly but surely. It's a matter of getting myself organized, which is easier said than done. So to recap a little bit from what we did on Tuesday, I was going to scan some art and I came across something I had already scanned. It was a scribble from 1988. I'm sure I even intended it as a print. Back then I used to draw my prints out and then ink them. Very open line ink. And I go down to Kinko's and have those printed up on cardstock, as heavy as I could afford, that I would hold and not buckle under too much water. And what I would do is I would take those, and then I had these Mongol colored pencils. Mongol was one of my favorite pencils at the time. And I would take a paintbrush with just water and go over the tip of the Mongol, which would turn it into watercolor. And then I would paint each one of these prints by hand. And I did that when I was first getting started back in the days when I was a teenager, my very, very early 20s. I would hand color my prints. Those of you who are watching this from the 80s might still have one of those pieces. They're probably yellowed horribly. But yeah, they're prints, even though they're all hand colored, which makes them originals because each one is different. So anyway, I found this little gem from the past, and I got to thinking to myself, I wonder if I could do that better now. Well, I would hope so. And what I ended up with, let me go over here to the workspace. So I ended up this little character right here, which is kind of nice. Not great by any stretch of the imagination, and I want to mess with him some more. I want to do a little here, a little there. But I think I've reached the point where I'm going to have to abandon this little guy. Now, he started life out. He started life out looking like that. And I can actually do a side-by-side here. I think I've made some progress. A friend of mine, Paul Noss, teaches now. He's a mentor and a friend. He saw this and asked if he could use this to show his students, showing that practice and perseverance does pay off over time. It's 34 years between these two pieces. It took me 34 years to draw this thing, if you think about it. I remember the night I sat down and drew this. This was just, I was literally just anything I could think about. I was going to sell it. And honestly, there's not enough subject matter here for somebody to want to buy this print and hang it up. But hey, if you guys are interested and you want to either do this side by side as a print or just the 2022 one on a white background like this, let me know. You might be able to hit to make this happen. Overall, I think it's a nice improvement. I'm kind of happy with it. But anyway, this is what I do on Tuesdays. This This is part of the What the Art Tuesdays, where I'll draw anything and anything I think of at the time. Usually just as I'm sitting down and getting ready to hit the button, go, okay, I'm live, now what I'm going to do. Not so much for today. Today is Workhorse Thursday. And that, my friends, means we're going to work on a page from the ABCs of Adventure. Now, for the most part, I is done. There's some shading and shadows that I have to do to the goblins. Little tweaks here, little tweaks there, but overall I'm kind of happy. I've got the lens flare looking the way I want to look. You know, a little bling here. I've got 2 out of 3 goblins pretty much finished, but I need that third goblin, one behind the hero's head. To be more than just a head himself. Now, I don't have to do this for this particular page, but the progression of this page is HI for initiative, J, which is jinxed, and our adventurer is going to fall into a hole at this point, leaving our little goblins a little confused and revealing what you're going to see here. So I need to draw the third goblin. In this case, I'm not overdrawing. I'm preparing for a future scene. Yes, that's the word. I'm going to. That's my story. I'm sticking with it. So the problem is that proportionately to the background, that is either a very tall goblin, or we're coming down a slant, or who knows. But I have to now work out what this little google back here is going to be doing. It's number, okay, ooh, he's number 1. He's got his ears, and he's in position. And then once I get him drawn, then I can go ahead and start doing all the fiddly little bits to make him better. We're going to bring up H. It's going to help me remember what I was drawing him wearing. I think pretty much just generic goblin stuff, which is what these other 2 are wearing. Pretty much same colors too. And this little guy is the guy in the background. Oh, perfect. He's not wearing a shirt at all. That'll make him easily identifiable. That, and he has no top knot thing or feather stuck to his head. And he has a unique weapon. All right. I think we can work with this. So let's go back over here to I. Yeah, we have a lot of work to do on this. There's no effects, there's no shading, there's no little details, nothing yet. Gonna have to finish the main leader's hand, work on the colors, because right now this looks like there's a spotlight right here, and there should be more harsh coloring, but I have to do it in such a way that when I go to the next scene where the torch may have either dropped, I haven't figured out how I'm working that out, but the character's going to disappear because he's fallen into a hole. And our character's like, hey, who? Oh, hey. So that's how that's going to work out. So he can no longer hide behind these guys, but I'm going to leave these guys in position for the moment so that I can use them as a reference for the rest of them. So what's this? Hang on. Oh, it says back here. Well, let's label that. I'm horrible about labeling things. Oh, and his foreear. So his ears are not attached to his head even. His foreear. As opposed to his ancestors, he has 4 ears. I'm going to turn the fill off on this. We're going to get an obnoxious red. We're going to use a circle because goblins are made of circles. I don't know if you guys knew this, but it's official. Goblins are made of circles. And I did start a few minutes early today, by the way, so I think get rid of that. Let's lock everything. Oops. Let's make a layer called body. Just so I can figure out what we're going to do with him. Put that there. So let's use that. I kind of like the idea of him curling just a little bit. So we're going to grab this, make a little bit bigger version of it. I have no idea why it's at an angle, but it is. Get his tummy tum-tum in there. Let's compare that with, yeah, he's got a bit of a tummy tum-tum. That works. I'm going to put his shoulder here and this other one back here. So it's going to have this slant, and you're going to have this curvature, and you're going to have a big pot belly. Yeah, I think this is going to work out. Just got to figure out where I want everything. About there. Maybe make the whole thing come down just a little bit so we have some neck. And then we're going to take another color. Okay, we'll make this that color. And we'll take another color for a shoulder. It's going to be bigger than the other one, but I want it. Oops. There. And I'm going to put another one. We're going to make it just a little smaller. How you guys out there doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are having a good Thursday. Yeah, we're going to put the other shoulder back here. And I'm just kind of leaving as circles at the moment, kind of figuring out what I want. I see we have a new follower, Tacos and Tieflings. I wonder who that could be. All right. So that makes me feel like he's carrying a piece that's coming this way behind this guy's head. And then let's say pants roughly there. Let's get this behind everybody. And I run. Well, maybe more like. I want it behind this guy's head, but I don't want to parallel this piece too much. So maybe. All right. Just trying to figure this stuff out. Think I would draw it ahead of time, right? I'm making this crap up as I go. All right, we're going to go back to that blue because why the heck not? And we're going to tie some of this together. There we go. And then I'm gonna cut that there. except I want a little more of the original shoulder in there. So, don't mind these going away. Alright. Did it in a different order this time and decided to get all fussy with me. Alright, there you go. Happy? I think just thinking aloud, trying to get things the way I want them. Yeah, that's a little closer to what I want. And let's go back to my reference. Just tight-fitting pants. All right. So let's put his hip here. No. 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 See, his action line goes through his body, like thus, the way I have him drawn. So let's put the weight on this. Oh yeah, he's going to be tall. Let's not make him that tall, but we're going to put it through this leg. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just making this stuff up. Maybe. Whee! Sometimes you gotta play with extreme ideas. I mean, it's like, well, what if I do a little bit more? Well, let's do it a lot. Let's see how that looks. And you bring it in. You go, all right, well, kind of, sort of, maybe-ish. And then you start kind of playing around with it. No idea needs to be set in stone. Particularly these stones. One, I'm going to make these that red color. Or white, apparently. Yeah, don't mind me. I'm just trying to pick a color here. Artist. And then let's do that. Now let's go ahead and grab these guys. And I'm going to create a layer called just a work layer. And this is where I can start messing with things. I'll move this layer around, drop stuff down, just make it a little bit easier. Just some place. It's kind of like having scratch paper on side. Hang on, let me try this in real quick. Okay, that works. And then you go and you do it. This is going to be my version of scratch paper. Yeah, I guess it's called scratch paper still. And this way I can, oops, get rid of those. Play around with some ideas. If I like them, then I can commit it to the layer. So like, I know his hips here. The thighs are a little bit longer. While we're here, since this is a safe layer to work ideas out on, we're gonna, so he's gonna have a spear, so we're gonna have an arm, and he'll either hold it here, Something like that. Let's play around with some things real quick. Let's get a obnoxious color, and we're going to go insert layer. We're going to call it spear or whatever. And on this is where I'm going to work out the angle of this piece here. I might foreshorten it a little bit, which would be kind of cool, but we won't see it because it's behind this guy's head and will remain there. So this is not as important as the hands. All right, so there's our spear. We're going to close that. We're going to come back to our work layer. This is just to help me work out some posing. Again, I probably should have drawn this. And why did you guys stay there? Stop it. Let's pick a color that I can work with here. Let's go ahead and do a green. I'm going to go circle. Got to get rid of the fill, just so I have something to play with here. How is everybody? I hear you breathing out there. Chime in, say hello, and thank you for watching. Okay, so hand. Now the hand's going to be here. And whoops. And we should probably put another hand here. Let's go up to the spear, or whatever it's going to be. Let's edit the angle just ever so slightly. Yeah. Just screwing with stuff, trying to figure it out. And the spear will probably end up going behind at least this hand. But until I figure out a little more what I want to do, and make these smaller. There. Okay, a little bit more. And we're advancing. And then we can say we wanted a foot deer and a big old foot deer. All right. And then with those hands, purple. I'll go from here to the elbow, elbow back to the hand. Here to my elbow, elbow back to the hand. All right, and that's kind of my pose. Like I said, goblins are made of circles, and it's kind of easy to play around with it. The body might need to be shrunk a little bit, but this gets me where I need to be, how everything's going to be positioned and posed. You don't have to do all these Michelangelo sketches to kind of just get an idea of what you want to do. Helps, but you don't have to. In my case, a few circles, some lines to figure out some angles of foreshortening and whatnot. I mean, I'm going to have to tweak shoulders. I'm going to have, I've got little things to tweak, smooth out, but overall, I think we're in a good spot. Of course, I would. Oakley dokley. Well, he has no shirt, and he's just got pants, so there's not a lot of detail to this guy. Should be able to get him knocked out here relatively quickly. So I'm going to take these layers. Did I get the spear? I did not. And let's center them here. Kind of just a little bit, because he's supposedly further back. And I may end up taking the head, making it a little bit smaller, still peeking it over the top. If that's the case, let's experiment with that first. Let's go out to the scene. Let's unhide the hero. Let's move, because I want the eyes to be the focus in this scene. Let's close off the hero. Okay, that puts them behind everybody nicely. Little tweaks. Always just takes little tweaks. Alright, so that's where we are with him. And that works out. That's going to work out just fine, in fact. I'm kind of happy with that. I have a progression, which is another thing I've been struggling for a few years now. Mulling over the progression of how to get through this sequence and how I wanted to draw it. And I'm going to say it here so that I can have a reference, because I go back to sleep and I go, oh, what was I going to do? Clearly I have the goblins and I sneaking up because he's failed initiative. In J, Jinxed, he's going to disappear off the screen, leaving these three goblins kind of like, what? Where'd it go? K, he's going to be hanging from the edge, the far edge of the hole he's fallen in, or the collapse, or whatever it is. And the goblins are going to be down trying to poke him and get his stuff. L is a repeat of that same frame, except he's wildly, the hero that is wildly swinging his longsword for L. Just, and one of the goblins is going to be pointing, and the others are going to be running. The next letter is going to be, and this is where the progression works now, because I couldn't figure out how I was going to get him from the hole to, I'm not. It's going to be kind of a behind the head or between the hands, looking over where he had just fallen from the ground that he was looking or walking on a minute ago, and seeing the next sequence in front of him. I'm saying that here so I have reference for it later. This book is going to get finished. I do not think I can finish it by December, by the beginning of next year. I will have a large chunk of it done. It'll be much further along. I know what the last page is going to look like. And now that I have the sequence I just talked about figured out in my head, I know exactly how the goblin sequence is going to resolve itself. It's the next sequence, which I've had a much more clear view, but since I haven't really gone through my notes for a while, I'm not remembering exactly the chain of events there, but it does focus on another character. And the nice thing is that I get to focus completely on that character and not have to draw three goblins and a hero and a cave. No, I get to focus on the character that is coming. And that'll be fun. So I should, and I had that sequence with that character in my head pretty well. I just haven't designed the character. That was the, what's it going to look like? Well, now I have to decide what that's going to be. And I'm excited about it. And I don't think I can wrap this all up by the end of December, this being October. If I was a good artist, I could, but I'm not. It took me 34 years to draw a goblin. Very happy with that piece, by the way. I got to experiment with some things I'm going to use on these goblins. But I think I should be able to wrap this up by the end of the first quarter of next year. I will probably get it done before then, but I'm trying to give myself a little bit of wiggle room because I still don't know how I'm going to print this piece. I think I'm going to follow Travis Hansen's advice. He pointed me to the Amazon Kindle group. Anyway, I have the information tucked away. I know, big box, Amazon, ooh, scary, but they do afford me certain things that other publishers don't. If you're a publisher and are watching this, right, reach out to me. I would love to do this as a golden book. Right now I have a 9:6 format, I believe. And I overdraw things, so rearranging pages to be different aspect ratios, not difficult, just annoying. But I would love to get this in print by the middle of next year. In time for, oh, okay, well, let's shoot for a goal to have this book printed and in hand by the time Tucson Comic-Con comes around, which will probably be November of next year. Might be a little earlier. They did it September this year, so let's shoot for September of next year to not only have all the art done, but possibly it printed and in hand for that convention. So let's see where I am when we get to that point, shall we? But I think that is my goal. All right, I'm been wasting this time because I've been looking at the goblin trying to go, okay, what do I want to do? What do I need to fix? What? It's like that Michelangelo thing, you know, you just chip away the parts that, you know, don't belong. You know, it's like, well, this is not an arm, so let's get rid of this piece of, you know, because it doesn't belong to the arm. And I'm doing the same thing here. I'm looking at angles, I'm looking at pieces, I'm looking at different bits. Oh, hey, Gabby Art 22, thank you very much. I appreciate you following me and liking. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you very, very much. Reach out and say hi. I'm using Streamlabs OBS. It has a multi-thread, multi-stream. There's a button for multi-stream. Have I just been sitting on Facebook only this whole time? Okay. Hey! Hi, how are you? Yes, I'm glad I found the button. I give you credit because I looked and went, it says Facebook multi-stream. I haven't been getting a lot of stuff from the other streams. So it's because of you that I was able to figure that out. Thank you very much. I am doing great. How about yourself, Gabby? And it's okay to just call you Gabby and not your full handle? I hope. And I hope you're enjoying yourself. All right, let's get back to live action here. It's time to, there's this gaping hole here, and it's a real simple thing to fix. And it's bothering me in this guy's smile. So we're going to zoom over here. I'm going to open up, wow, that's a lot of mouth. Da-da-da, da-da, da-da-da. Let's go to the head. Okay, so it is part of that. So we're going to get rid of this for the moment. And I'm just going to put a kind of like a single snaggle tooth in here. I have this thing about snaggle teeth on goblins lately. A lot of snaggling going on here. Okay, well, thank you anyway. I do appreciate. Where are you from? I do like making friends from other places. I appreciate people who stop in from other countries. Dink, dink, there we go. It just feels better to me. I understand what you're saying. You know enough English to get by, but not necessarily enough to... Oh, Brazil, how exciting. Well, thank you very much from Brazil. I hope the weather is amazing, and I hope you are having an outstanding day. Thank you very much for stopping by. All right. So, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. All right, let's see what's going on here. I like that little snaggle tooth better. Let's work on the body. We're going to take our work layer. Actually, we don't have to, do we? Let's lock these two layers for a moment. Let's go grab... We're going to grab the spear from this guy. Which one is he? Is he Goblin 3? Nope. Is he Goblin 2? Yep. Let's get in here and borrow his weapon. That's his shadow. We don't need that. Let's turn that off. And that's layer 3. Well, poopies. Awesome. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I do this every Tuesday and Thursday. Today is what I call Workhorse Thursdays, where I work on a very specific project, which in this case is a book called The ABCs of Adventure. Tuesdays, it's called What the Art. And it's where I draw whatever I feel like. So I really hope that you have the opportunity to join me in the future. All right. Whoop. And this was something I was showing earlier. I had found this piece of art I did in 1988. And I wondered what he would look like today. And this is what I came up with. And I learned a lot of things drawing this guy that I'm going to use on the goblins that I'm currently drawing. There's a lot of goblins lately. Must be October. And to show you what they look like side by side, here are the differences. So, a friend of mine who is a teacher wants to borrow this to prove that with hard work and perseverance, you can improve. I don't know. It only took me 34 years. I think I made some good progress. All right, let's close this down. We don't need him. We're going to go back over to here. We're going to grab the layer called Spear. Zip out here. I'm going to lay this one here, and then we're going to fix it because, you know, we have handholds and stuff in it. So let's fix this first. Let's get rid of the green. There we go. Let's just close these gaps. This way, we know, actually that probably needs to be fixed. Doink. So you're not snapping? My snap's not on. There we go. Something fishy is going on here. We'll figure it out in a little bit. Oh yeah, something's going on. Let's take a look. Let's redraw that. There we go. Snap you to there. Oh, you're not. Nothing's snapping. What in the world's going on here? Gotta set that there for a second. And on. On. All right. You. Let's get rid of this. Now maybe it'll play with me. It doesn't like me today. All right. There we go. And we're going to just make it easier. We're going to just draw this in here. Lord of the Ring orcs. No, I do more than that. It's just the current projects that I'm working on have goblins and orcs in them. I love Lord of the Rings, though. Clearly, huge influence in my life. This book involves heroes, goblins, and dragons. And in fact, this picture right here, which is behind my mic apparently, is one of the original sketches. In fact, let's see. There's it. It's over here. Yeah. So this scene, let's go to the big camera here. This is the scene we're working on right here. So this is the original sketch, which gets scanned into the computer. We're working on, where is he? This guy right here, which I've moved to here. That's why I put it into the computer, so I can play around with stuff. So first thing we're going to do is we're now going to make this bigger. I work in vectors. This is a program called Animate. Why is everything weird and sideways today? And let's delete that. I'm going to put it on its own layer so that I can work with it. And I think it's a halberd, or we'll call it a glaive. It's not really a glaive, but you know, who cares? It's a goblin. And apparently glaive is spelled with lowercase. Apparently I have my cap lock on, which happens a lot. Dink. There we go. Now let's put this back in here. Paste in place. And let's get the size the way we want it. Let's see, let's center this bad boy here. That was me moving the pivot. There we go. And of course, this will have a lot of work done to it because this was such a very small piece of art before. It didn't have to have a lot of detail in it. Now it does. Nice. Okay. Well, I'm secretly spying on you, Gabby. I'm stealing your work. I'm sorry. No, orcs are a wonderful thing to draw. A lot of people enjoy goblins and orcs and things of the same. You should reach out I'm on DeviantArt, by the way. Just Jeff Perryman, DeviantArt, whatever the thing. It's one word, Jeff Perryman. And reach out and show me your work. I would love to see your work, or you can post it in Facebook here. I'm streaming on Facebook. Clearly, you're watching me on Twitch and YouTube. Feel free to show me your work. I love seeing what other people are working on. And if you have questions or ideas you want to bounce off of another artist, it's hard working in a vacuum or by yourself. So bouncing ideas off of other artists is viable. And we don't steal people. We might get inspired, but we don't steal people's work. So that's just not fair. It's not nice. All right, so let's make this a little bigger. Now, I'm going to use a really cool trick here if it works, because I'm noticing the box is not doing what I want it to do. Let's see if I deselect it and select it. No, it's just even worse now. Well, I was going to try to foreshorten this, but because of the way it's being weird, and I think it's because I rotated the goblin's head from when I drew it, and so everything else is rotated as well, so it's not happy with me. But I was going to foreshorten this. I wonder if I can still do it. Just have to work at it. Now, see, yeah, it makes that a kind of a strange angle. But let's put it back here. There we go. Do you work in Photoshop, or do you work in a vector piece like Animate here, which used to be called Flash? Yeah, we're gonna do a little more of that. It's not ideal, but because this dude is going to be behind, oops, kind of want to get some foreshortening going on. See how the blade looks like it's a little closer and this haft's a little further away. And I'll make this just a little bigger. And it's a cheat way of getting some forced perspective. True. Goblins tend to be a lot smaller than orcs and a little more sinister, whereas I find orcs to be just big brooding hulks that use power and strength to smash hulks. Well, goblins are not as strong, so they have to be more devious and cunning, and they tend to be more of the thiefy, whereas orcs tend to be big brutes of power and fighters, strong leader. Goblins not so much. And so they tend to be more cowardly too. At least that's my take in my world. You can draw orcs and goblins any way you want. You can even make them red. It doesn't matter. Goblins don't have to be green. I mean, how green is a goblin? So you draw what you want to draw the way you want to draw it, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise, because it's correct for you. All right. We have glavage. We're going to check it against these characters here. We're going to check this now against the hero. And let's look at the text in place. It's a little bling. All right, so he still has the effect I want him to have. I might move him just a little bit because I like him just being over the top. Goblins are smarter. Agreed. Or at least they think they are. They're not subtle goblins. And so they think they're pulling one over on the orcs who are like, no, it's going to happen. But yes, I like them to be sneakier and more conniving. It's a word, meaning they just are weasels looking for a buck. All right, let's go back to, let's hide the text. Let's hide the little bling. And let's hide our hero. And let's go back to our layout, and I think I am happy, so I'm going to get rid of the quote-unquote spear layer, and that is what we're working with right there. That I can live with. I mean, I think we're going to still need to tweak these legs. Not going to lie, I'm not happy with them. But let's see what we can do first. And let's start with the legs. Let's go ahead and go to the body. Oops. Boink. Okay. And that's not what I want to work with. What's with the weird colors today? Let's go with purple. And I hope I can be inspirational for you, Gabby. One of the reasons I started this channel is for things just like this, for people to maybe learn something they didn't know. I know I will learn things. You have a lot to teach me, for example. Why am I 0.5? All right. Computer gone crazy. This needs to be a 1. Don't know why I'm drawing in such a small. Might be. Oh, I know why. The glaive is probably, now that I've scaled it, it's probably all at point. So let's put it 1. There we go. And like I said, we're going to work with these colors. We're going to work with a lot of stuff in here. But for now, we've got it. This is the design for this character. And I'm trying to be consistent in my designs. So let's try to, okay. And then we're just going to cheese it all in here. We're not going to try to be detailed oriented. What is with my snap today? It's like nothing wants to snap. There we go. And then I know this one gotta be back here. Let's move this a little bit. Oh, yeah. What? You don't like my hat? Yeah, this is my microphone. This is the little S guard or whatever it's called, the spit guard. It's probably making all kinds of noises that I can't hear that you can. But yeah, this is my. I can wear a hat if you want. I've got lots of funny hats. I always have hats. The ones I would wear are down the hall, so we're not going to bother with that. But yeah, no, it is. It is. I don't know. You think it's cute? All right. Do, 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 do. Let's see what kind of fun we can make here. Yeah, that's better. Oops. Okay. Problem with having a snap-on is it does some crazy stuff. There we go. And we're going to do the same for the arm bones here. We're going to make those. And I'm using different colors just to help me keep track of stuff. Let's do a yellow or orange. Orange would be good. Just. And we're going to hide the glaive for now. Ooh, is that on the glaive? Was that? Oh. Guess what I did? I put all this on the glaive layer. So let's move this. No wonder it went so smoothly. We're going to put this on the body layer. Actually, it should be on the work layer. But we're going to put this on the body layer. There we go. Now that's where it belongs, because this way I can work with different things. For example, I can get rid of that. Cartoons. Gotta love them. All right. Well, since that's the glaive, we're going to hide the glaive. So this is a tight foreshortening area. Oh, that is not the color I have picked. I have this color picked. Thank you very much. And I bet you that's going to cause me issues. Let's take a look at what we've got going on here. Nope, that's good. And we're going to have like this. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to do that. Not that anyone's going to see it. By golly, I know it's there, right? All right. And then we know this is actually going to come further in, but we have a hand here, so we're going to leave that there. Now we're going to do something very similar over here. I was taken by surprise. Sorry if I ended up changing the subject, but it's because I don't understand much English anyway. You know what? Not a problem. My friends who come on here to watch me, their favorite game is to try to derail me from what I'm working on, to get me to tell stories or just go off, just talking about silliness. And it's okay. It's part of the spirit of what I do here. So feel free to ask questions, be silly, just whatever you think is appropriate. And if I can respond, I will. Sometimes I'm so focused on what I'm doing here, I don't notice. Okay, we're gonna hide his head for a second because I need this line to be more like that. Alrighty. Oh, not a problem. We're all still learning. Like I said, it took me 34 years to draw that last goblin. Not really, but there was 34 years between the first drawing and the drawing I did on Tuesday. That means we're all learning, and it's when you stop learning that's the issue. All right, where are these? These are on the work layer. Yeah, those are all there. So let's work with this just a little bit here. See what we've got going on. I think I'm just going to put that right there. Get rid of that. And then we have our hands and stuff that are here, here. All right, so we're going to go to the work layer. We're going to get rid of our initial little stick figure layouts. Just kind of help us figure out where things are going to be. There are some words I understand because I learned them, but overall, understood. It's like if you were to speak your native language to me, I would be completely lost. You know far more English than I know of your language, and I don't know what the if it's insulting I say this, please forgive me. If it's Portuguese or Spanish or its own, and I'm of the impression it's its own language, but I don't know it from a bar. So you are way ahead of me. You know far more languages. As I like to joke, I'm illiterate in several different languages, which is to say I don't know several different languages. So don't be ashamed. You know, own the fact that you know as much as you do. Are there people who know more? Yes. But you're learning. As we said before, that's important. Always try to keep learning. If people make fun of you, meh. Who cares what they think? It's what you think. Okay? So just keep learning, all right? And thank you again for coming by. It's nice to have somebody from another culture down south to speak with. I understand Brazil is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. I've never been, but would like to someday. All right, I'm going to take the body art and I'm going to make it all well. I'm going to commit to a lot of the lines here. I think we're going to probably get rid of that. That's too much. We're going to smooth this out there. I think I'll draw that by hand later if it comes to it. And then I think we've got too much belly. That's what that is belly. I mean, he is all belly. He's a goblin. But yeah, do I have anyone over? I don't know if I have to flip back and forth between this and Facebook, but I'm so glad I found the button. All right, let's do some tweaking. You are going to do what I want you to do. There we go, Mr. Nee. And let's there we go. And I think we're going to add a little nub in here for this knee. And make it a little bit better. I have to agree with that. Brazil is really beautiful. I love my country, but there are some people there that make life difficult for others. It's the same no matter where you live in the world. I wish it weren't that way. I really wish that people could just enjoy the beauty around them and be satisfied with life in general. But when you have different people gathered together for whatever reason, you're going to have different ideas. Some people express them better than others. But never give up your art. Never give up who you are. Surround yourself with the beauty as best you can. And let the rest kind of work itself out. And hopefully we can draw a lot of fun things and get some giggles. Can't wait to see your works. Those are going to be fun. I do. We have those people here as well. And it is a shame. It is a shame. But those people are everywhere in the world, like I said. Not just in your country or my country. They're global people who think they know better for us. And some of them do. Let's just be fair. Some of them are much smarter and do know what's better. But overall, no. I think everybody has a voice and should be allowed to express it. Alrighty. Let's take a look at our original piece. Let's see how he was. Okay, so we have pants. Did that. All right, we can do that too. Maybe I drew them too. Yeah, let's do take two. So we are going to take all of this. First, we're going to make it a different color so it makes it easier to select everything else. And I'm going to make this color here. And we'll just get all of this. And we'll do this, this. I have an idea, and it may or may not play out well. So we're going to turn this all into the same color for, oops, and then we're going to, oops, I missed a piece. There, and then we're going to you and you. Copy that, let's get rid of them. But we didn't. We are going to put them on the work layer. And now that I kind of have an idea of what they're supposed to look like, let's see, what was his boots like? Okay, so he had little ankle booties. All right. Parents and people, I wanted to tell you about a video I watched that made me feel really bad. Oh no. Why would you have something that would make you feel bad? I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to take another color. We're going to lock this layer. Showed a man and a woman. The man was in a wheelchair and the woman was his wife. They were older. Okay. We're going to use, what's a good color? Let's use this powder blue. I never use this powder blue. And I'm going to use my stylus a little bit. So I'm going to move some stuff around here. Give me a second. Oh my goodness. Gabby, how could you let this happen? I've been on the big camera this whole time. No, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. No, I could see the art I was doing. Okay, we're better now. So I'm going to redraw these, which is, for those of you who are just joining me, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So he has little booties. I'm teasing you. It's okay. Oops. Let's go back to the body layer. And we're going to draw in, because he's wearing pants. There we go. Then we're going to, and whoops, that's actually not what I want. Let's get rid of that too. Let's do little booties. rest of these little booties. There we go. Alrighty. That's a little better. We'll work with that. Okay. Now we're cooking with glass. You got scared. No, no. I was just teasing. I'm used to a lot of my, when I do that a lot, have the camera switched to the wrong camera. And usually my friends will reach out and go, hey, you're on the wrong camera. So I thought I would tease you since you were their representative today, so to speak. All right, I like this better. It's not perfect. So we're gonna go back to the body. Yep, we're gonna go back to the work layer, and we're gonna eliminate these legs, which I took all that time to kind of work out. Didn't need them. Welcome to being an artist. I tend to overdraw my scenes, so. All right. I'm gonna grab this, we're gonna unify it a little bit. And then we're gonna use that. Yeah. All right, there we go. Let's bring this over to here. Let's bring this in. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so continuing. They were passing in front of a house which had a flag of the United States extended, and that flag ended up coming loose. Oh no. Well, not everyone's a fan of the United States. It's a shame, but you know, we're not always the good guys. We like to think we are, and we do try. Sometimes we're just trying. But like every culture, not everybody in a particular country is of the same mind. Let me, there, we're going to there. Just parrot ears floating. That's funny. And let's put the glaive back in. Yeah, I'm fairly happy with that so far. I think we're going to round out these. Just a little bit. There we go. There's a tip. So he takes the flag, folds it the correct way to fold it, and when he finishes folding, he asks his wife to hold it. Okay. The man tells his wife to stop the chair as he wanted to gather the flag and refuses to receive help from her. Gathers the flag, folds it, and then asks her to hold it. All right. And I think that's good. We're going to take the pants, though. I mean, this color is not working for me. Oh, but it is telling me I have gaps. That's good to know. Let's fix my gaps before we move too far forward. So, ding ding. And all the gaps, but that one right there. That's a doink. Put that one in there. Does that finish the gapping? It does. Let's put that right there. It's all the cleanup. After he makes takes the flag, holds it, and asks her to hold it. After he makes the position of attention, in respect to his country, he returns the flag. Very awesome. I loved it and thought it was beautiful. It is a nice, beautiful, touching gesture. Patriotism comes in all different shapes and forms, and it's always nice when people show respect, show honor, not only to their country, but to themselves and to those who have served to give them the country that they have. So, yeah, I've admire and respect that. Okay, I like this, but this one is not doing what I want it to do. So this is just me roughing stuff out. Bink. Again, what is with? Okay, that kind of gives me what I want. So we're going to use red. Oh yeah, I was trying to change the color of this, wasn't I? Let's change this to purple for the moment. And then we will get a red. And we roughly know where I want. Okay, those are there. Perfect. Oops, I do want to be visible though. So we roughly know where I want these. And then it appeared as it is here in Brazil, and it simply showed several people stepping and dancing on top of her. Oh. Yeah, well, we have people that do that here too. It angered many government officials, so they passed a law making that illegal. It was already illegal to do that kind of things. But expression, self-expression is important. Yeah, where was the respect? I understand where you're coming from. I agree. We have a lot of people who are upset here that do things to the flag to illustrate how upset they are. Not a lot of it lately, but there was a period many years ago where it was the case. So I understand. The flag didn't do anything wrong, and the country as a whole hasn't done anything wrong. It's just maybe sometimes it takes a direction that the majority of the people don't like or care for. So I get it. I do get it. But we're here to talk about goblins, Gabby. Let's see what kind of shenanigans I can get into here with these guys. So I have this weird thing I do with boots. I don't know if you draw things in a very specific way, but I do these weird things, which, you know, is a very quick way of doing boots. And I just do a little, actually, that's too high. I want to go from low. There's what we want. And then we have a boot. And I can either curve that or not. Play around with it. There we go. So that's the foist one. Let's do herc. Herc. And then, oops. Hang on, let's not do that line just yet. Let's do dink and dink. There we go. That way I can get the curves in here the way I want them. Let's move this layer so I can tweak this just a little bit more, and then wink. There we go. And of course, cartoonists do it with sound effects. There we go. There. I know that the country of Brazil is not easy. Things are expensive and everything, but it's not our country's fault. It's the people's in charge, and the people are not able to get up off the couch. When you want to make a difference, we know very well what is needed, and they don't do anything about it. So, I don't know how old you are, Gabby, but I'm going to assume you're younger. It is up to you and your generation. No, the rant is fine. Sometimes you just need a place to vent, and sometimes a random art channel is the place to do it. We are here about art, but I would like to say that it is up to everybody, but more importantly to the younger generations, to advocate for change, to understand what change means. And that means becoming active, becoming involved, both in larger politics and local street politics sometimes. I'm not advocating everyone go out and rally, but think about the things that you can do every day that can make a change and make a difference. Some people it's about recycling. Other people it's about finding ways to have everyone eat better. Some other people it's trying to have people who don't have anything to eat to make sure they do have something to eat. So get out into the community and become active and involved. Help food shelters, help homeless shelters, help rally people when it's time to vote. Now, I know things are different in Brazil than they are here in the United States, but activism can be something as simple as telling somebody, have a good day. It might make all the difference in their life. I know there's more going on than have a good day can fix, but it's someplace to start. So, moving on. We've got feet, we have a body, we have boots. I like the part boots. Say it like School Smith, it's boots. What you got? No, it's not boot for boat. That's a Canadian thing apparently. I used to think it was a Scottish thing, but it's not. All right, so we're gonna unhide all this. We don't need these circles down here anymore, so we're gonna whoop. We're going to get rid of these guys. Now, for the most part, we're not going to see these feet, at least in the main picture. I'm overdrawing this character because the next scene is we're going to be seeing them all, so I need to have him drawn. I wanted them to realize that if we want change, we need change. Exactly. And you need to change the way you want things to be. It could be as simple, like I said, as saying hello to somebody each morning and showing kindness. It could be something as simple as buying an extra can or two of food and then giving it to somebody who needs it. It's as simple as sometimes getting involved in the local voting and trying to make changes for the better, for cleaner water, for better farming practices, to, you know, better deals so that the foods are not as expensive to help curb inflation. Sometimes can start with good morning and how are you? It's important. Oh, well, thank you very much. I like my animation too. I'm going to make this hand, I'm going to make his hands bigger. I may have made the body too big. That's why the hands are needing to be bigger. But I think at least this one needs to be just about there. This one could be just a hint too. And then I'm going to put these over the glaive because that's where they're going to go. Alrighty, let's go crazy. Dun, dun. I know, art. Let's change the subject, otherwise I'll cry. Well, I want you to smile. I bet you have the most amazing smile. When people use their smile, their soul comes through in my mind. It's in the eyes and in the smile. It really is. Let's change the subject, otherwise I'll cry. Well, let's talk art. And that's what I'm going to do here. So I am now going to draw some hands. We're going to start with this one. This will be knuckles in the front of the fingers. It's my least favorite thing to draw. And I think, I need to do it like this. So that line is wrong. I think that's where it needs to originate. So, little trick that I do is draw a circle and then I draw boxes inside that. Now I know that this is going to be longer than this because these are the pinkies. And it doesn't look like much right now, but hopefully when I'm done we'll have a fun little hand in here. But right now I am just roughing stuff out, and with that I don't think I need this anymore. And I can kind of tweak this a little bit. Ooh, wow, what is going on with that thing? Come on, work with me. Really? Stop it! There we go. Ah! Okay, note to self, lock layers you don't want to move. Ink. There we go. And we'll just roll there. We're going to roll that out there. I'll roll this out here. And this gives me a rough approximation of where, and I'm going to just close this in for the moment. This is not how this is going to be, but I just kind of want to get an approximation of where I want the hands. Now this one, it's going to be very similar, except I might have to change the angle of this arm. Let's work with what we got here real quick. Let's see. We know knuckles. Nope. Let's run the knuckles there. This is a challenging angle. Yeah, I'm going to have to move that arm. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. And there. All right. So this is a very rough, oh my goodness. Alrighty, knuckles, and then fingers. Again, this is just me roughing stuff out, trying to get an idea. Let's see, and then of course we're going to have thumb like that. Ink for now. All right, yeah. So we're going to go back to the body. I'm going to hide the glaive. And we're going to change the arm here. So I didn't get it quite spot on, but that's okay. Close enough for government work, right? I'm going to take this, and now we're going to go to that blue. Actually, let's use a green just so we know what we're doing. And we're going to come to here with that. And this one can, let's just draw that out. So yeah, not anyone's going to see it, but there it is. What? Let's see. There are people who don't like me to be like this, but hey, I'm like this. Well, you just keep being you. You know what? Like that too. I'm always smiling, excited, making others laugh, and that's why you should be you at all times. What would a big, strong goblin look like? Well, for me, looks like this. He's not big or strong, but he's heavier built than the guys we're currently drawing, and he's armored. Apparently, pirate vampires exist because of his button. I don't know what I was saying. I drew that in the 80s. I have no idea what that was about. But that will become a button. I will make that available so that you can wear around a vampire pirate smiley face. TM. But big, strong goblins. Goblins are not strong. They're wiry to me. To you, they could be little brutes, you know, little walking V's, because and they're just this tall. They can be whatever you want them to be. What would be the maximum? Well, I don't think they could bench press more than a boulder. Be lucky to get their armor on. I don't know. That's the problem, is you're setting a limit onto how big they can be, or how small they can be. They're your goblins. They could be blue or red. They could be massively powerful or very wiry, thin muscles that are very dexterous. A big, strong goblin just might have more muscle tone, kind of like a runner, a marathon runners. They're not big, bodybuilder types like an orc would be, but maybe they're more like marathon runners. They're very lean, very fit, and very, lanky. But they're your goblins. They can be this big. They can be as big as me. And orcs can be huge, massive, boulder mountain type mounds of muscle with brains the size of a pea. Or they can be cunning too, because they are born of similar stock to goblins, in my opinion. According to Tolkien, all orcs are corrupted elves. Make of that as you will. All right, back to what we were doing over here. Let's go crazy. Sorry, got that stuck in my head. I'm going to adjust this arm a little bit. So I just got that, let's go. Let's go crazy. I know. I'm going to get demonetized. Not that I'm monetized to begin with, but... And if I hide my work layer, perfect. I did something right for a change. All right, I am going to... Let's use a different color yet again. There's madness behind my method. Wait, what? Me. There we go. Oh, I hope so, yeah. We are going to take all of this now, turn it into this blue right here. My work layer is probably going to get renamed. But I think I'm in a pretty good spot. Not bad for an hour and a half of work. And let's bring the glaive back in. And so I can finish up these hands. So I have, oops, back, ding, ding. There we go. So I can make it look like it's being held. Again, we're going to, actually just leave that straight, that'll be fine. See what needs to be done over here. This is in pretty good shape over here. Probably going to have, well, say, no, we're good. All right, so let's start separating out for the moment some fingerage. For example, orcs are huge with monstrous strength. In addition to being intelligent when it comes to battle, are goblins the opposite? Teeny, no brute strength, and maybe a low intelligence? The answer is yes. That's how I envision them anyway. I see them being very cunning, incredibly smart when they're executing something. Putting a plan into action, for example. They do it very, very cunningly. But their plan is usually always flawed because they didn't think it through all the way, and so something is going to go wrong. It is rare when something goes right for them. So take from that as you will. All right, I'm going to zoot and zoot. And I I just don't think I need these. Let's give a little there. There we go. My internet is really bad days. Mine always is. And so it may not be on your end. It might be on my end. All right. Tink. Going to do the same thing. That's a weird angle. Looked better as a box. Let's go back and examine this. I think that's the problem right there. So I had the knuckles, not giving the fingers enough room to grasp. I think that was the problem. I'm also going to remove my quote-unquote thumb here. I'm not happy with it. It serves its purpose, but it needs to be replaced. Now we're going to put in some fingers again. Hopefully. Oops, I missed. A little better. With this conversation, it gave me a lot of courage to continue my work, but I'll eat before. Drawing on an empty stomach, or in my case, lack of coffee, is always a bad thing. I think my art is fueled purely by caffeine. All right. You know what? I think I know what I don't like about this thumb. A little more of that going on. Let's put that there. Yeah, that'll work. Let's move some things around here a little bit. Let's get rid of this. Maybe I should keep it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Oops. I want the rest of this. Doing the sketch. Well, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I haven't had lunch yet. Well, wrong on that. You're supposed to eat more often than that. Are you an American? I am an American, and I'm currently based out of Arizona. Not from Arizona, but this is where I'm currently living. So I'm in the Southwest. Sketching can take 5 seconds, or a week, or 2 or 3 or 4. You know, sketch often, sketch from every angle you can think of. Think about anatomy. I thought about the shoulders, I thought about the upper body, I thought about the tummy, but I also have this kind of down to a formula, for me, at least. Yeah. Oops. And here we go. Alrighty. I'm going to throw some generic color on here. First, let's get a neck bone on this guy. Let's hide the head again. And we have ears to use as a reference. Yay. Body boop. We're gonna. And of course, no one's gonna see it, but I put my little tweak in there. That gives me enough to work with. Oops. And let's lock that. that, bring the head back in. Yeah, it's like a pixel. All that just 6 hours. I slept, I woke up at 1. 6 hours. Is that talking about sleep or the amount of time it took you to make the sketch? I sketch fairly quickly, but I also have taught myself to sketch to the computer, which is not always a healthy thing. This is actually rare to see me actually draw on the computer. I usually try to sketch everything out. Okay, we are going to undo the head. We're going to grab this green. We're going to take, and I don't think I'm going to be as happy with the hands as I thought I was going to be. So we're going to lock the head again. We're going to go back. We're going to hide everything but the body. And we're going to tweak. I'm going to tweak some things. Okay. Let's get all the blue bits. And you'll start seeing how this hopefully comes together. We're going to unhide the, oh, actually, have everything hidden. So let's unhide the head just long enough to grab this color right here. That is not what I asked for. Let's try that again. 1, I want that color, and then 2, I want that. There we go. And there we go. That all got turned green. And then we're going to do the same thing for this. Alrighty. And we're going to fill the body with that. And then we're going to get rid of that line and this line. Yeah, not a big fan of that. Alrighty. Head. That doesn't seem like it worked the way I wanted it to work. So let's go you again. Right? Locked. Okay. Cool. Let's unlock. There we go. A little more gradient. And let's take this. Do that. Alright, just for now. Then I can come over here and get his pants color and this line color. And we'll do the same thing here. We're going to grab everything that's purple, put that there, then we're going to just fill his pants in. And we'll do the same thing here. We'll grab the gray. And I'm doing this just simply to keep things consistent. Here we go. And let's go back over to here. Oops, wrong thing. Here we go. I'm gonna go boom, boom. And oops. All right, boom. So he's not by any stretch of the imagination done or perfect. But this gives me a place to kind of like, this is not working for me. Why is this a 0.5 when it needs to be a point, when it needs to be a 1? Why? What have I done? There we go. And of course, I'm not a big fan of this. This hand is not working for me. I'm going to throw my router out the wall. Yeah, I've made, I have orcs. I don't think I have anything in here. I have some sketches. I can bring them in on, if you want to join me on Tuesday, I'll see if I can find some and show you on Tuesday. If you go to the Facebook page for Chain Reaction Studios, you can find a lot of different kinds of art. It's in the albums. You'll find t-shirt art, you'll find mugs, you'll find other things. I do a comic strip called Dungeon Notes, and it has its own Facebook page too called Dungeon Notes. And you can go there and find some more of my fantasy medieval work like this as well. And you might find something that inspires you there. I don't think I have a lot of works. I do have the Hull Monster, but all you ever see of the Hull Monster is eyes and teeth in the dark. It's mostly implied. But yeah, you're more than welcome to peruse and see if there's anything there that you find inspiring. Please let me know if you do. All right, so here's this guy. He's far from perfect. In fact, his skin's bothering me so much right now. I'm going to feather that just a little bit more. There we go. Actually, the light's coming from the torch this way, so let's be consistent. There we go. All right, let's check out the scene. So for the scene that's coming, I'm going to start with this. And for the scene that they're currently in, save. This doesn't look like I've done a whole lot. Gabby, what kind of medium? Do you just only do pencil sketches, or do you work in the computer? Do you do any 3D modeling? What kinds of things do you like to do? Clearly you like orcs, and therefore you like fantasy medieval, which, thank you, I love that. Let's go. Whoop. All right, so you can't see it because of there is the original sketch. There's where we're at. My mic's up there, so you probably couldn't hear that very well. Not put it in my face. Have my hat back on. Gabby's hat. All right. All right. I'm happy-ish with him. Like I said, most of the stuff we see that we have drawn, we're not going to see. So, for example, the hands being the way they are. Why not just steal that hand? What's wrong with me? Just put it over there. All right. And of course, that one will have the words down here. So I'm not too worried about that. Well, here is our trio of goblins. We're not done by any stretch of the imagination. Will you close? I will here in a few minutes be closing up the stream if that's what you mean. We're definitely getting close to finishing, at least blocking this little guy out. And then we have the next page, which is J for Jinx, which is going to be basically this with different expressions and a few extra odds and ends. All right, let's bling. That's the leader. Following the leader, the leader, the leader. All right, that's hello. Oh, wrong one. This one. Alrighty, let's get in here. There's a lot to unpack here. And again, I need one now. What the? There's I think it's Peruvian. You would know more than I would. But I know the women there wear either this little hat. I don't know if it's their hair bun, but it has a little round thing on it. It's just this little. It might be my end. I am dropping about 38% of my frames right now, and we are crossing international borders, so I can only imagine. Oh, the hat. It reminds me of something from South America, and I don't know if it is a Mayan or Peruvian, but this brim with a little ball on top. It's what this kind of reminds me of. I don't know if I'm being accurate or not, or if I'm correct. So you would know better than I would. I am going to work on this guy some more. I think one of the problems I'm having is that he too is at a very fine. Let's get these ears back in here. Let's grab all of this. Yeah, there's your problem. Let's do that. There we go. That might be an issue. Maybe that's why I have it all done at 0.5. So let's zip out here just a little bit. Line weight is the next thing I'm going to try to address. And I've spent all this time trying not to be at 0.5, but let's see what it all looks like. Ah! It's 51. That's not 0.5. That is 0.5. Thank you. That was disturbing. Alright, we're going to come all the way down here. We're going to do my outline layer. Insert a layer. This is my way of cheesing line weights. There you go. Now he has a little weight to him, and we can clearly my caps lock was on again. Ooh, I forgot to grab the teeth. There we go. There, now he feels more a part of the yeah, it's hats. Yeah, right? I have a bunch of silly hats. I really do. I'll start wearing them more often. But for right now, I think we need to do the same thing to the Gobo leader. I don't think he has an outline. Oops. Yeah. Not what I'm asking for. Try this again. There we go. There we go. Now let's do this. Inserting a layer. Paste in place. Let's make it 3. Actually, he could probably be a 4 because he's closer. All right. There we go. Yeah, right, who turned into an orc now. Alrighty, so did he get in front? There we go. That was wild. All right, thought there was something off. He was in front of the guy in front, and he was in front of the guy that he was behind. Not confusing at all. All right. Save, bring in the hero, bring in the bling, bring in the text. Make sure everything still reads right, that I've rearranged the order of the universe. And this is where we are. We will be closing the stream soon, within the next few minutes actually, but not at the moment. We're getting close, yes. Still have to do his eyes, just so he blends in a little bit here. And then the next thing we'll be doing with this piece is going ahead and doing all the shadows and highlights and little details that need to go into these characters. And I have to keep in mind that the background characters are going to become foreground characters at some point. And so I need to make sure my details look good there. And since I can draw them once, I'm going to. We have a lot of our effects in. We have the lens flaring here, a little ding off the sword. The goblins needs his glowy eyes. He doesn't have his glowy eyes yet. So let's see, let's do him. Let's get glowy eyes on him. Let's see if I have that still loaded. Yes, I do. And let's go to the head. And just put a gradient in here. Ooh, unlock that. There we go. And then I believe I have a glow. Eye glow. Thank you. Let's insert a layer. And we're going to make them transparent. And we're going to blur them, because that's what I do, is I blur stuff. And we're just going to copy this, whoops, this one over to here. There we go. Let's go out to the main scene. Peking Goblin. Ooh, his are much smaller, so let's get in there and fix that. There we go. That's more betterer, as the Australians would say. And there we go. Those last minute touches before we end for the day. Zoom, 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 zoom. And here's where we are. I think this is a good place to wrap up. We've got about 5 minutes left in the stream. And this puts me in a good spot. So next time I work on this, oh no, you're fine, Gabby. You don't have to cook away. You don't have to talk constantly. You don't have to keep me entertained. That's my job, to entertain you. So we have the goblins all drawn. Should have done that ahead of time, but oh well, here we are. They're set up for J, which should go very quickly. Then we can go to K, which I'm excited to do. L is going to be funny to do, and I'm going to have to work out some special effects for that one. M. I now know what M is going to be, and I'm excited about it. I is for initiative, which sadly our hero is slow to make. We are almost there. I don't think we're halfway through the alphabet, not even close, but we're getting there. It's 26 we're going to have to do here. I know what Z is. I know exactly what Z is going to be. I know what X is going to be. X is not nice. But on that note, I think it's time to wrap this stream up. I want to thank Gabby and everyone else who has come to visit me today. And for those of you who have gotten this far in the video that are watching after the fact, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. If you want to support me, you can make sure that you show this to your friends and family that you think might find this interesting. Do the like, share, follow, whatever the platform is you're on. I'm on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Oh no, thank you for keeping me company, Gabby. I appreciate you. I want to tell everyone out there that I love you and that those who are around you love you too. Let them love you. Love them back. Give them a hug even when you don't think they want one. They might need one from you. This world is tough enough as it is. Let's not beat each other up, okay? You're loved. You're deserving of that love. Let yourself be loved by those around you in the world at large. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and close off this video and say thank you very much. If you want to support me directly, there's a link right there going by. buymeacoffee.com/chainreaction. My art engine is fueled by caffeine, but it's not necessary. I think your company is more than enough. It was really nice talking to you both about the differences between orcs and goblins and your new hat. I blame you for the hat. Thank you guys very much. Thank you, Gabby, for joining me. I will see you guys on Tuesday when I do What the Art. Until then, take care. Thank you.